Good morning, and my name is Krishna Adury. Today I want to share a few ideas with you how you can improve your communication and how you can refine your English language. You all are in 21st century, and therefore using 21st century methods is essential for you. So you can learn English using technology, because that's the core idea of this video. What do we mean by good English actually? Like, whether you speak or write, you should be able to have a choice of appropriate words. You should have a lot of vocabulary and you should be able to retrieve when you need them. And when you write or speak, you should use appropriate words. And second one is, when you construct the sentences, they should be like an epigram, like they should be concise, they should be succinct. So you don't use words which are not necessary. You can't be verbose, you can't be superfluous. You just need the words which are essential to communicate the idea. Don't try to use so many words which are not required there and all that. Therefore, the communication must be succinct, because this is an important quality of your good writing or good speaking. The next point which is important is that you should have a command on the syntax of language. Syntax is all about the rules we follow. So you should have a good syntax. So you should follow all the rules of grammar. This is again an essential quality of good writing or good speaking. And whatever you speak, you should have good knowledge on what you are speaking or what you are writing. This we say it is a compendious knowledge you should have. It should be very, very comprehensive. But mind you, what you write or what you speak must be succinct also. So there is no excuse if you don't have the language, ideas. Ideas are very, very important. So you must have compendious knowledge, comprehensive knowledge of whatever topic you have taken. Then, as I told you that because you are a 21st century learner, what are the new methods available for you to learn English much faster? First one is, you can have listening games. So you listen something and you answer a quiz. So these games will give you an idea of how to interpret what is spoken by someone else. So listening games are so important, because if you are good at listening, language is all about imitation. You also can speak well. So when someone else is speaking, you listen, understand, and if you can comprehend what is spoken by him, perhaps it's the best way for you to improve your speaking also. The next one is, you have mixer groups. Mixer groups, this is about, they take a topic, people belonging to different nations, they express their ideas. So it is easy for you to pick up this habit of listening to people from different countries, different ethnic cultures, different backgrounds. So this is, like a practice that you need, because you see, you are not confined so only to this country. Like, you should be able to understand what the people from other countries also speak. You should be able to understand, and therefore mixer groups will help you in this aspect. Then you have interviews. This is another resource. People talk to each other, they understand each other. So you can hear a conversation, you can understand how they are talking to each other. Then the important part there is the tests. So many times I see people, they feel that they know a lot of English. Maybe they are right, but at the same time, you can build your self-esteem if you can test your language. So there are tests available which tell you how much of grammar you know, how much of how you are constructing your sentences, and how are your spellings when you write, and all these things can be tested actually. And there are many worksheets available for learners. They're all interactive worksheets. They're available. Okay, so you can use interactive worksheets so that you can assess yourself. You also can refine your language using them. The next one is, there are news sites like BBC or Voice of America. These sites, you can improve your general knowledge, you can improve your knowledge of current affairs, but at the same time you're improving your language also. So it's the two benefits you are getting. One is you are updating your knowledge, and secondly you're improving your language also. The next one that is available on net is chat software. People always say that you must speak to a native speaker. It's a good advice, absolutely no problem. But who is available to talk to you? But I tell you one thing, a machine can talk to you. You can use chat software so that you can talk to a person literally who is in a virtual environment. And the next one is, suppose you have some text in the MS Word format. You can upload that. There are text readers who read the text for you. So what happens here is that you can get the pronunciation well, and you also can relax while listening to a story. And therefore you should use text readers to listen to when someone is speaking, and particularly when you're traveling, this is a best aid actually, text readers. Next you have grammar check software. See, earlier we were handicapped, we didn't have this facility. But today, if you have grammar check software, if you write one sentence, it will give you an alternative sentence also, so that it says, do you want to modify your sentence like this? There is a suggestion there. And therefore, if you use grammar check software, so you can rephrase, you can refine your sentences, you can probably give better sentences than what actually you are writing. And I suggest one more way of learning English. There are several stories, particularly for children. So there are stories which come with music. So children are interested in following the storyline, and there's also light music played in the background, and therefore stories you can follow with some music. And there are some grammar games actually, and funny games you can really enjoy, and you can learn grammar, and conversations. And I need not emphatically tell you at this point that you got so many TV shows these days coming with subtitles, and all these resources are comprehensive, and you can depend on them to learn your English. They're contemporary too, and I just want to tell you, you must have learned good English at your school level. God knows what has happened. But grade 1 child should be able to speak sentences, and he should be able to communicate. That is the expectation at school. And a grade 3 child, remember, he should be able to write a message spoken to him in at least 5 sentences. He should be able to take down the message when orally given by someone, and he should be able to write on his own. And similarly, when you look at what is expected from a child during their school days, is an 8th class child should be able to read a 200-page book and write a review. See, maybe in 200 words or 300 words. All these discourses and narratives must have been taught at school level. Therefore, if you are doing something now in improving your language, don't think that it is too much is being done. No, it all that should have been done at school level. And to improve your vocabulary, the beginning, let me suggest one website. It is a dictionary.com. All the time you use consistently only one dictionary. Don't keep on changing the dictionaries. And dictionary.com, when I say dictionary, what does it give you? It will give you the spelling of the word, pronunciation, there is an audio file which can be played, and the meaning of that. And besides that, you also know how to use it in a sentence form. All the 4 are available in the dictionary. I repeat, you get the spelling, you know the pronunciation because there is an audio file which can be played, and thirdly, of course, you know the meaning of the word, and last is that you know how to use it in a sentence. So dictionary.com is one site which you can use safely to improve your vocabulary. Okay, and english-test.net. I repeat, test.net. This is an excellent site for testing your English language. There are so many tests for the students who are preparing for the competitive examinations, and you can try, you can reassess, and you can improve your communication so fast using this one. So for testing your English language, I recommend english-test.net. Many times I hear people asking me, sir, is it difficult for an adult to learn English? And my clear answer, very categorically, is no. An adult also can learn language very easily. It's not at all difficult. It's very easy. Now, there is another question, a pertinent question people keep asking me is that, sir, we are learning English right from pre-primary level till graduation. Then why are we not able to speak in English? And I tell you one thing, you are learning English as a content-based one. I am not interested in the prose lessons you have done, poetry you have learnt, and this is insignificant and inconsequential. What is essential is skills must be built. So content is not important. And at the same time, I want to tell you, when probably we were learning English, our English teachers, they read the story for us and they explained it to us. So explaining is something which has done the extensive damage to us. So if they start explaining an English passage, what we look for is, we want to hear the story there. We want to get excited about the story, but we were not focusing on the language skills. Therefore, there must be a paradigm shift in the language teaching from the content based to skill based. And this is something seriously wrong in our classrooms. And there is one word which is not so good in English classrooms is the word explain. If the teacher starts explaining a lesson, students never learn English, and therefore teacher should build the skills and she should allow the students to understand what is there in the prose lesson, what is there in the poetry. And children should write on their own what they have understood. Children should be able to speak what they have understood. Even if it differs from one child to another child, there is nothing wrong in that. They can interpret it as they like it. And therefore, a lesson need not be understood by the same way by all. Teacher is only guiding them, and students have that. It's their prerogative to understand as they like. And serious problem I see in most of the students is the problem of diction. They don't have so many words to explain anything or write anything. I give you one example here. A student who has completed grade 10 should know 1500 words. He must be familiar with 1500 words. A student who has graduated, he must know 3000 words. But unfortunately, most of the teachers and most of the lecturers, their vocabulary is limited to maybe say 500 words. And therefore, your teacher may not be a good example for you to emulate because their vocabulary is very limited. So if you start listening to people who have got good vocabulary, because there are so many speeches available outside, there are so many texts available outside, books available outside, and you can know new words. They're not difficult words, they're new words. So whenever you take a book, when you read the book, you underline if it is a new word for you, know the meaning of that word. That is how you improve your vocabulary. And consciously, if you improve vocabulary over a period of say 1 or 2 years time, probably you can add another 1000 words. So what is essential is that every student should improve the vocabulary by knowing at least 5 words every day. And therefore, I suggest a paradigm shift from the content-based to skill-based, and students should have the freedom to add so many words. They should read new texts, they should hear new audio files and all that. And for this, there is one point that we must understand. Don't worry about your grammar. Grammar and the text what you are learning, they can't be alienated from each other. You can synchronize them. I mean to say that you learn grammar automatically when you are reading something. There is nothing like you learn grammar, later you can start reading the books. It's not necessary. You can have a blend of both of them. You can read the text and simultaneously you can learn the grammar there. And to learn grammar, if at all you are very keen about it, there is one site which gives you so many worksheets, and that site is usingenglish.com. Usingenglish.com is an excellent site for you to give a lot of worksheets, and they give you a lot of grammar, and you can go to another site which probably gives so many grammar lessons. It sends by mail actually, dailygrammar.com. If you register, they send you lessons every day, and every day if you can follow those lessons, you can improve your grammar ability there, and dailygrammar.com. And if you are, as I told you, if you are keen about and knowing a lot of English, the best thing you can do is either South British English or you can think of American English. There are two sites which will help you. bbc.co.uk is one site. Then another one is you can learn English using voanews.com. VOA is Voice of America News.com, and there is a provision for you to learn English using that site. So the advantage, I tell you, if you are using VOA News, they read the text, a news item for you so slowly, you can understand the news item, you can also learn your language. So these two news sites will help you to improve your English. The next one is, if you want to have good listening practice, there are listening games available in elo.org. I repeat, ELLLO.org, English Language Learning Laboratory, ELLO.org. This site is so good for all the interactive activities. This can be used in schools, colleges. There are so many quizzes there, listening games, mixer groups, interviews, views, and even you can learn a bit of grammar also. So ELLO.org is an excellent site, particularly for those who want to have good listening practice. Sometimes you may feel like, sir, these are all traditional methods. I want to try something new. I can't waste my time. What such people can do is that you have good speeches if you go to TED.com. TED.com gives you so many speeches, and they say, their tagline is ideas worth spreading. You get new ideas. There are persuasive speeches, there are informative speeches, there are motivating speeches, and good speeches you can get at TED.com. But if you want a variety of public speeches, you can think of Toastmasters.org. That is a site for you to see people speaking, delivering their public speeches, and you can find a variety, and those are very, very interesting, of course. So the speeches where there is content delivered in a short duration, and you understand how best you can present, like the ideas what you feel like. And there is one question always people ask me: do we have to memorize the words when they speak English? I tell you one thing, you don't have to memorize the words, because you will not know how to use them in a sentence. So the best thing you can do is that you can memorize the phrases. Whenever you are using a word, memorize the phrase when it is used, and if you can memorize some phrases, and that would be better in fact. So which is better? Is it to speak to a native speaker or a non-native speaker? This is not an important question, because speaking to a native speaker is all the times better, because you get the correct pronunciation and all that. When I see some text, particularly when someone writes, what is that I specifically see in that is I first see the ideas. So I give importance for the text. By text I mean, how are the ideas presented there? How are the ideas? That's the number one. And the second one is, I see the sentence structure. I mean to say that I see the complexity of a sentence. Someone who is a seasoned writer always uses a sentence which is complex in nature. And the third one is, when I read something, I see the purpose, the objective of one's writing. So why is he writing? What is the purpose? And is the purpose served or not? This is the third one I am very keen about. And the fourth one is, when someone writes, he must remember his audience, for whom it is meant actually, like. And I see all these four when someone submits an article to me. I repeat, I first see the text part of it, I see the ideas. Second one, I see the sentence, that's the complexity of the sentence structure, more complex. It's fascinated to read, and it's also, I can be overwhelmed by this is submitted very well and all that. And the third one, I see the purpose of that writing, and the fourth one is, I look at the audience. I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but I'm telling you it's worth trying. And learning English, it's not the end of the game, nor it is the beginning of the end. Perhaps this is the end of the beginning. You start learning English today. I tell you one thing, you can learn English in one day. You can't make a mistake. And this promise I make to you, because if you learn tenses, you are talking about general grammar, you can never make a mistake. Why the hell you are making a mistake if you are good at your syntax? And therefore, if you can understand the tenses and a bit of prepositions, and I tell you, like, you are ready for speaking English. When you are ready for speaking English, what is essential is keep on adding words. And many people have got only one problem. It is a psychological problem. And you think that the other person may not accept if you are speaking. But remember, it is only your feeling. So start speaking English. There's absolutely no reason for you to resist, like feeling that fear and all that. And you can improve your English. Start speaking. It's very easy. I just have the closing message, a simple one, like, speak English, dress Italian, drive German, drink Russian, smoke Cuban, eat Arabic, love Spanish, dance Latin, kiss French. But in the end, I want to tell you, always be loyal to your nation, India. Thank you so much.